Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Before we get back to today's topic, I'd like to take a moment to thank our friends here at the Hilton Garden Inn Park Place for allowing us to tape our show here today in their beautiful lobby. Enjoy Hilton's great guest rooms and suites, pool and fitness areas, and all hours in the park, restaurant and bar. The subject of today's show is on a great man who not only led the civil rights movement, he was a Nobel Peace Prize winner and the first African American to be honored as Time Magazine's Man of the Year in 1964. Of course, I'm talking about the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. January 20th, 1986 was the first national celebration of Dr. King's birthday as a holiday, and my next guests are here to tell us more about the 30th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday celebration taking place at the Marcus Center for the Performing Arts. Martha Love has been a longtime community activist, potential organizer, and labor leader in Milwaukee for nearly 40 years. She's also a committee member and producer of the MLK event coming up on January 19th. And then we also have Lydia Boyd, who is a student at Eastbrook Academy and a first place winner for this year's celebration. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Andrea.
I'm happy to have you both here today. And Martha, Milwaukee and Atlanta are the only two cities that have hosted a yearly event of this magnitude. Tell us more about it.
Well, yes, for 30 years now, the Dr. Martin Luther King citywide celebration has taken place in the city of Milwaukee. It is embraced by the mayor, county exec, as well as the citizens of the city of Milwaukee, and we certainly appreciate it. The, this year's theme is the nonviolence, the most potential weapon. And that was taken from some of Gandhi's writings that Dr. King most certainly was Gandhi was a person that Dr. King most certainly respected.
Yes, and it's always interesting when we look back on the lives of individuals who were so inspiring to the world. We just lost Nelson Mandela, and he too was inspired by Gandhi and Dr. King, and these are people who we can't forget, so celebrations like these are so important. It's happening Sunday, January 19th, again at the Marcus Center, and you mentioned that this year's theme is nonviolence. You have incorporated youth of different ages into the celebration through speech, writing, and art. Fill us in on how that worked.
Well, we've had the contest working with the school systems in the city of Milwaukee, and the young people are asked to participate in the contest and to respond to the theme. And we really pride ourselves on the diversity that Dr. King has always demonstrated with his nonviolence movement. So today we have a wonderful young lady here, Lydia Boyd, who's from one of the schools in the city of Milwaukee, and she's going to share with us some of her thinking as it relates to why she wrote the piece that she did.
And her piece was a winning speech.
Her speech was a winning speech, and along with the contest winners, we have performing arts. We have a number of our different ethnic groups that also perform at the Dr. Martin Luther King citywide celebration. And we've determined that diversity and nonviolence, like Dr. King has always demonstrated, was the way for us to go, and most certainly our audience is really grateful, and our young people do a great job.
Absolutely. And Lydia, we've mentioned that you were a first place speech winner representing the 9th and 10th grade group. Why was it important for you to be a part of this competition?
Well, I really felt that it was a great opportunity to go and talk about this and kind of dig deeper in the issue of violence in the city and how that can change. And to talk about nonviolence and having younger people talking about it just makes it come real, and to have the factor that people really want this to happen is good.
Absolutely. And so you've got your winning speech in your hand there. So if you could tell us a few things that you said that made this a winner.
Well, I talked a lot about nonviolence and how that can be used in the city, and I also talked about the issues like school shootings and bullying happening, and how some of those things lead to violence. And that's a great issue in schools today. So I focused on that, and I talked about how Dr. King used his speeches to talk to the cities and to really get the issue out there, to make it something that's really happening in the households, talking about it.
Yeah, and that's so true. Those are the big issues today, especially amongst young people. You talk about bullying in schools. We've seen more school shootings than I can remember, and it's kind of hard to wrap our minds around what's going on in the minds of young people. But then you have all of these young people take the stage and display their talents and their thoughts, and it reminds us that there's a lot of positivity from our young people today.
You know, we really appreciate We's Energy for sponsoring the speech contest. And there was an awful lot of competition this year.
Oh, yeah.
And as I sit in the audience along with the parents and view the young people giving their speech, it is just like folklore. It is preparing us for the future.
Absolutely.
They are telling their stories, and they're telling how they feel about what's occurring here in the city of Milwaukee. And I just leave there so refreshed because there's so much hope in what our young people are saying. So I believe that Dr. King and his movement, and with the city of Milwaukee investing in our young people, was the only way to go to continue the dream.
Yes, and we want to give people at home a chance to feel what you felt when seeing these young people. Let's take a look at some of the participants, and there's a few parents in there as well.
It's really fun to do. For me, I was a little scared, but once I got up there and said a few words, I was very comfortable. And once I got the audience attention, I was really comfortable.
I would say that it is definitely worth my time. The children did wonderful. They spoke very well, and you can tell that they put a lot into their speeches, and I'm rooting for all of them, not just mine.
Excellent.
Thank you, MPS.
Yes, thank you.
Nonviolence from the other kids and what they were doing to help our community and doing their thing.
I would tell them to do this so that more people who don't know about Dr. King, they can learn about him and to show what they did so that we can be accepted here.
That's
And
awesome.
I think they should do it because this year I was a little scared to do it again. But since I did it, I feel much better about myself.
What did you do to prepare?
It took me through a struggle. Even though I made it this far, I know I didn't make it to the finals, but at least I did a good job.
It'll help you more with your literature, your speaking in front of crowds, and you social connections.
Just to put it in perspective, if I was telling somebody if they wanted to enter the Dr. King speech, I would just want to make sure to inspire them. Same here, just to make sure that they know what they're doing, how to do it, and when to do it.
I love the theme of this year, why is none wise the most potent weapon. Proud of you. Just
Yeah.
want to say thank you for having me.
Really fun. It just gives you a challenge that you get, and it's only once a year, so it just boosts you to try something different. And it's like a challenge that you don't get from a lot of people. It's just like a extra boost to help you, so that way you know that you are able to do something.
Again, I will say so many positive young people that we can be proud of, and they live right here in our city. Now, Martha, you did mention this event, or the contest between the young people, has been sponsored by We Energies for 30 years now. So from the beginning, they've been there.
From the very beginning, We's Energy has been one of the sponsors, and especially a sponsor of the speech contest. They, we have We's Energy invite all of the young people to come, and they feed them a very nice breakfast, and that prepares those young kids with all of that energy to deliver their powerful speeches.
Absolutely.
And it is, just like I said, it's folklore, and it is so inspiring and so empowering as a parent, because sometimes you just, as a parent and as a grandmother, feel there's not a light at the end of the tunnel. But once you've been worked over by the young people from We's Energy in the King contest, you just feel fully rejuvenated.
Absolutely. And for you, Lydia, what was it like knowing that you were actually competing when you had to deliver this speech?
Well, in the early rounds, there was the final round in the beginning to go speak at the finals to win. And it was exciting to know that you're competing against different people, and to make this issue be live out there was a good feeling. And to compete against different people is really fun too.
Absolutely, and I should say congratulations
Thank you.
and continued success with all of your future endeavors. We thank you so much for being here today. And Martha, you've been diligent in your objectives to fight for the unemployed and the underemployed, and you've worked hard to protect the civil liberties of people of color. And with that said, what does Dr. King's dream mean to you in this day and age?
You know, I think the best utilization of my time in order to continue Dr. King's dream is to work with our young people, to listen very carefully to what they're saying and really trying to assist them with what their dreams are. Like I said, being at the speech contest was like folklore. And it just really prepared us for the future. And I really am very proud to be one of the people to work on the planning team and to be a part of bringing to our community this wonderful, wonderful celebration along with We's Energy and a number of other sponsors and people from the planning committee and most certainly the Marcus Center.
Yeah,
for the
and
performing
I think
arts.
that I've said many times on this show, when you have corporations and businesses who are dedicated to being a part of the community and making a difference, We Energies has been there with this event, like I said, from day one for 30 years. So it says a lot about how they feel about young people and what they want to see young people accomplish in the future. So it's a huge thing to have them be a part of this. And so what other things can we expect to see at the big birthday celebration other than the young people who competed and won? What else can we expect?
Well, certainly we can expect to see Lydia Boyd, who was one of our first place winners in the speech contest. We also have a lot of performing arts. We have the American Indian group. We have the Chinese orchestra. We have our Sikh community this year that's going to come in and their Boys and Girls Club is going to dance. We have an African American West Indies group that's going to come in and dance as well, singing, and it's just going to be a spectacular ending. And we really don't want to
give that away.
We really don't want to reveal that.
Okay.
It's going to be a spectacular ending. Maybe around the area of the 1963 March on Washington. But it's going to be a great, great, great celebration. One of the best out of the 30 years that a number of people from the planning committee have participated in.
And I think that what you've said is huge, that you have so many different ethnic groups coming together and showcasing their culture and their talent, because that's what Dr. King's dream was all about, us all coming together and realizing that we all have something to offer, in our case to the city of Milwaukee, but to the world as a whole. That's what it's all about. That was his dream, and young people like Lydia are fulfilling that dream just by being a part of this great event.
That's true, and we certainly appreciate Lydia and all of the practice that she had to do, because she was up against some tough, her opponents were tough, but Lydia prevailed, and I was happy to be there to watch it. It was outstanding.
Okay, well, we want to make sure the people at home know exactly what time this event will be kicking off on Sunday.
Okay, the Dr. Martin Luther King event will be January 19th at the Marcus Center for the Performing Arts. The program starts at 1 o'clock, and Andrea, this year we have a keynote speaker.
Okay.
And our keynote speaker is Dr. Joan Prince, who was appointed by President Obama to the United Nations to be a representative. So she's Dr. Ambassador Joan Prince.
Looking forward to that. That's awesome.
As well as Malele Coggs, who was a 1994-95 scholarship winner of the Dr. Martin Luther King program.
I love it. Thank you both for being here. I really appreciate it. Martha Love is a committee member and producer of the King Celebration at the Marcus Center, and Lydia Boyd is a first place winner representing Eastbrook Academy. Again, the 30th annual Dr. Martin Luther King birthday celebrations happening at the Marcus Center on Sunday, January 19th. This year's theme is nonviolence, the most potent weapon. For more information, log on to marcuscenter.org or call 414-273-7121. That's going to do it for today's show. A special thanks to our friends here at the Hilton Garden Inn Park Place for allowing us to tape today's show in their beautiful lobby. Enjoy Hilton's great guest rooms and suites, pool and fitness areas, and all hours in the park, restaurant and bar. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Thank you for watching, and we hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues, Milwaukee. Have a great day and Happy New Year.